Hello everybody, it's William. Welcome to my channel. So you're watching a series video about learn Swift the hard way, and this is a series video about a concept called extension. The reason I'm recording the extension is that extension we used a lot in real life, especially in app development. So I think it's much more important than other thin text because it actually adds functionality to the existing type, and yeah, I use that personally. I use that a lot, so I think it's better for you guys to know that from the start. Okay, so yeah, let's open a playground so I can yeah, I can give you guys some demonstration. Okay, so playground, and let's just use a blank playground. I think that's be alright, good enough. Map, let's just create a new folder, and say that will be extension. Okay, so let's create it. Playground. Okay, so the first usage of extension is to use it as a computational function. So basically, if you want some computation to be done, I want to add that to your original functionality, you can do that. Let me show you guys how. So, for example, just get rid of everything. So, for example, you we don't need UI kit to do that because there were nothing yeah, to the interface. So for example, if you'd like to let a string, any string, so I'm going to say any string as a name. Any string will be welcome to my channel. My name is William. Okay, so really long string, and of course you can just print this any string out. Okay, no yeah, no problem about that. Okay, and let's actually run that. So yeah, here, let me give it a little bit of space. So you can print this string out, and you just print this. Welcome to my channel. My name is William. Okay, so yeah, nothing too fancy about that. Yeah, I think you need to wait a few seconds for it to run, because the first time is always a little bit slow, and then after you have get everything working, you can run smoothly. Right now it's launching. And maybe I'm going to pause it for a few seconds. Right, so as you guys can see, we got this welcome to my channel printed out, which is pretty good. And then I'm going to add functionality to the string. So right now the string just like a storage, like a container that can be printed out. But we don't want that. We want a more customized function. So I'm going to extend the string. So extension. And let's extend the string, because this basically is a string. So I'm going to extend that to add more functionality to it. So I'm going to add a var here, and I'm going to add count, how many words in the string. Okay, so it's a mouthful, but that's just a little habit of me to make it a little bit long, so you guys can see the actual meaning of it. And of course, in real life, you can just use the count string, count words, or something like that. Okay, and this will give you a int, because how many means that say 100. This is just an integer. Okay, so then I'm going to return that. So once you call that, you're going to return that dot. I'm going to split it, and we got we got a separator, and yeah, So regular expression. So basically, I'm going to get something like this, where separator. So I'm going to get the separator where okay, and yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking, just bear with me. I'm going to type all that out, and then I'm going to explain that to you. White space is white space. Okay, so then dots cut. Yeah. Self dot split where separator and is white space, and then count. Not exact match equal to instance method split. So yeah, after adding a few blank space, so the complaints come. So basically, this is a little bit hard to understand. Is that you're going to separate the whole string into a different substring, and I'm using the separator as white space. So if there's a white space, I'm going to separate that and then count. Okay, so this is a good way to count to split it, the longer string into separate substring and then count it. Okay, so yeah, and my name is William Jiamin. Yeah. So instead of just print the string, I'm going to access the extension, which will be the count how many words in the string, and once I got that, and then rerun the whole program, maybe just to automatically run, you can get 9 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's really helpful because you got this space separation as a sort of a separator, as a queue to cut it and then count how many. Okay, so this is a good example of how to use extension to add functionality to the original string, and of course you can you can test a lot. So for example, you can add more strings. Let me just give you another example to it. Yeah. So for example, you got a integer. Okay, so you print any of the integer. So for example 1, and you want to add some extension to the integer, so you can extend that as well. So extension, and you can extend int, and you can add more functionality to it. So you can add a func rather than just add a var. Okay, and you can say whether the integer is whether the int is even or not, Okay, whether it's even or not is a function. You will return a boolean saying that it's even or not even. So you can return, and you're going to get that int and divide it by 2 to see whether you got nothing left. If it remains 0, which means that it is even, so it can be divided by 2. If it's not, you're going to give it false. Yeah. So instead of just print 1, I'm going to say sorry, this is boolean. Okay, so instead of print 1, I can say dot whether the int is even or not. Okay, so we can say this is not because 1 is not. Yeah, let me just duplicate that, and you can test it out by changing that. Okay, so this is even, 2 and 4 is even, so true, and false. Yeah, that's another example to add a functionality, and of course you can add the var to add the sort of I think it's like a computation property to it. You split it, and you count it. This is like the adding a new method so you can know whether it's even or not. You can access this data itself and do a little bit checking. Okay, and yeah, and of course you can. So for example, you got a real example of in real life example, you might get a sort of default value, and you can add a initializer to store a default value to it. So for example, you got this RGB color, which means the red and green, G, okay, and the B, blue, and the RGB color just a mixture of the three. And if you want to initialize that, so say for example you want to initialize red equals to 255 and green equals to 255 and blue equals to 255, you can actually do that. So instead of just manually type RGB's value every time you want to initialize a color, you can just using extension to get an initialized value, and then every time you generate that, you just use the initialized value. Okay, yeah, let me just give you an example of it. Okay, so just coming out, and so for example, you can say adding the extension of UI color. So let me just show you guys how it's done. Okay, so let me just show you guys how to do that. So first, you need to say name some part of your app. You might need a color, and that color will we have make the usage of UI color. So say my color. Okay, so my color will be using the UI color. Okay, and because you're using UI color, you're passing in a lot of info. So I think maybe this going to import UI kits after all, because you're going to use UI color. Okay, and if you want to use UI color, you are going to add the red, the green, the blue. You need that sort of initializer, and so you might get the red of say 100, and then green will be a maybe 50. I don't know what color that I'm going to get you. Just input a random number here. Okay, and then you can have that number. But I'm going to extend that. Okay, so I'm going to extend the initializer, so I can get a much more customized color. Okay, so in it. Okay, so yeah, declare here. You give an error saying that missing argument for parameter alpha in core, and alpha CG floats will be a float. Yeah, and in it initializer float alpha CG float. Okay, they're lacking alpha here, so alpha maybe just do not got a transparent, so yeah, something like that. Okay, so I already used that UI color, but I can extend that to initialize it. So I can extend the UI color. Okay, and instead just to input that, I can add the convenience initialize, and then I can input the red, green, red. Okay, and that will be an integer because you can pass an integer, and green would be an int as well, and a blue will be an int. Okay, so after that, you can have it in it, and this will be the default value that you want to initialize. So yeah, so for example, you can get yeah, CG float. So basically, the CG floats will be I think it will be a float between 0.0 to 1.0, and the RGB will be a 0 to 255. So I'm going to do a little bit conversion out here. Thus, you can just pass in a more straightforward RGB rather than CG floats. So say red, this red, and because you're going to convert that to 0.0 to 1, so you can divide it by 255, and then the green will be you're just basically using the same method to convert that. So that will be blue, and convert that to 255.0, and yeah, green. Sorry, RGB. Okay, so blue. This be blue and divided by 255.0. And alpha, same method, because alpha I'm going to set to 0 to 100. So in order to convert to CG float, I'm going to say CG float, and that will be alpha, and divided by 100.0. Okay, so yeah, alpha CG floats, cannot find alpha in scope. Yeah, the reason they can't find it is that I forgot to add alpha here. So I'm going to say alpha, and that will be an int as well. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this way you can just pass in red range to 0 to 255, and green, blue is the same, and alpha from 0 to 100. So then you can use it. It's just some example that you can actually use in your in your applications. And that's initializer, and of course you can add subscript to it, which means that you can add say you got existing type, say array, and you can add in the subscripts capability to it. And so yeah, so for example, you want to safely return a element, and you sometimes you might not find a certain thing, so you want to safely return an element. You can add subscript to do that. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, so let me demonstrate how to add subscript, and what do I mean by the safely return. So for example, if you got array, and let me just give you an array, small array. Okay, and that array will be just got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10, maybe just 10. Okay, because you got small array, you want to print something out, and I'm going to yeah, get that small array, and you like to get a certain number from array. Okay, so so for example, get the first one, and yeah, you can get the first one 0, and the first one is 1. And so for example, we got 10 elements, so the 9 will be 10. Yeah. So for example, the sixth one will be 7, because sorry, 6 will be 5 because it start from 0. Okay, so we should return 6. Okay, but what if I say I like say 10? That will be out of range because yeah, you will just encounter an error, which means that the whole program just stopped, and we got a fatal error here, which means that the whole program crashed, index out of range. So you can add a subscript, which is an extension that can safely return a certain element inside of the array. Okay, so I'm going to show you how. So you can add extension, and you can extend the original array. Okay, and you can say subscript, and then you can safely return, and save. Then I'm going to add an index int. Okay, and then I'm going to return a element, and I'm going to protect it because it might might not found. So I'm going to use in coalescence operator. So yeah, I'm going to show you how. Return indices dots contain, and then index, just passing the index, and so you're going to get that index, and you have considered the nil situation here. Okay, so yeah, so every time you want to access a certain element in the array, but you don't want some of the index that you don't found. So if it's nil, you're going to say not found. Okay, so you can say instead of just access that 10, let me just use another way to print it out. So we can use array because you already extend that. And you can say save, how to spell it? Yeah, you can save got the 10, which is the 11 index, and if you can't find it, you're going to use coalescence operator saying that there is no index 10. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, sorry, it's not array but rather small array. Okay, so yeah, spelling correct. Save. Okay, so index add range exclusion. Yeah, let's just, yeah, this part, let me just comment out. This error belongs to here but not here. So when they execute that, the whole program crashed. So let me just rerun that. Okay, so let's see where the magic happens. There's no indexed. Yeah, there's no index then. So this is a safe way to get indexes. So for example, you got a really long array, you don't know how many indexes that it have, and you want to get a certain thing. You want to handle the user's input because user don't know the array for sure, and you want to use this extension of the array and to safely return the index that the client or the user ask. Okay, so this is another example of using the subscript to do that. And one last example is that we can add nested type. So we say we got already got the classes struct or enum, and you can add more kind of deciding mechanism to it. So let me show you how. So for example, you got this, we can print and print a certain number, so maybe 8, and you can you want to know whether this is a positive or 0 or negative. So you want to access that dot and adding some more properties to it. So how to do that? Because a is an int, so you're going to extend int as well. So you can extend integer, and you can add in more functionality by using enum, and say you want to know whether it's positive, 0, 0, or negative. Okay, so just making this up, PZN, and then you can add in all these cases here. So we can get this case of positive, and you can get the negative, and of course you can get the positive, negative, and then 0. Yeah, 0 here. So let me just follow the order. 0 and negative. Right, so we got 3 cases, and we can add var, say the PZN, because you want like not capital PZN. Okay, that will be a PZN. Okay, so you can use switch statements to switch from different to switch from different cases. So if it is the case of 0, you're going to return 0. So return dot 0. Okay, because we got the case of positive, 0, and negative, so you can get 0. If it is the case of say x, and then it is bigger than it's like you're playing English. That's how programming language involved. If it's bigger than 0, and I'm going to return its dots positive, and if it is the case of then yeah, I think you don't need that. You can say then, like the fallback clause. Any scenario, if it does not conform to 0 or bigger than 0, it must be less than 0, which will be negative. So we can just return dot negative. Yeah. So yeah, let me just delete all this here. So instead of just print 8, you can access its positive, 0, or negative, and you will definitely get a positive. And you can duplicate that and say let me just test multiple times, and 0, and maybe just negative 8 and negative 80. Yeah, so we get this 8 cannot be applied to operand type in 0, and I think maybe I got it a little wrong, and maybe that's because this is a little bit weird. Yeah, sorry about that. You should enclose that -8 like this, okay? And say you want a -80, you can do something like this. So positive, 0, and negative. Okay, so yeah. So that's using the extension to add enum and give it different cases, and yeah, so we can add nested type to it. Okay, yeah, and I think that's basically all of the usage example of how extension works. And as we progress, I will introduce you guys some real life example to it, and we will use that definitely later especially for example the color initialization. I think the function we use that a lot, like the convenience initializer. And where's the func initializer subscript? Yeah, in strangely, I think I introduced guys to func, but I can't find it. Let's just search that. Quickly search that. Okay, yeah, maybe I just accidentally deleted it. It doesn't matter. I think the func example is that say the protocol we can use that yeah, I think let me check the previous example using the func. Yeah, I think it's even. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, pretty strange. I think I got this even like divided by 2. Yeah, something like this. So you got integer extension int yeah, and then func is even, or something like that. I think I've already done that. So yeah, maybe I just delete it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so yeah, that function we use a lot. We can add more functionality to it as well. So I think that's pretty much of it, and it was already a pretty long video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumb up if you think my video is helpful. I update video every day. Okay, so I will see you pretty soon. Bye.